Atlanta Housewives, Season 13, Episode 1. Now, Bravo, y'all know better. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, and welcome back. I know it's been a minute, but your girl has been busy, blessed, and busy through this COVID season. So we'll talk about that on another episode. But today we're going to talk about the new season of Atlanta Housewives, Season 1, and I just didn't like it. So it opens up with everyone in the confessionals, and they're asking them about the effects of COVID. But first, let me do this. Let's talk about the fashions. Yeah, I know my number one girl, Portia, is killing it. I love the sexy wavy ponytail. It's playful, it's youthful, it's pretty, it's sexy, it's all that wrapped into one. Kenya, yeah, Kenya. She Kenya always brings it to me. She's pretty. She later on she talks about how she's gained like 30 pounds of weight and stuff like that during COVID. And then also Candy, but all the ladies look good. You know, to have been in quarantine and to be on lockdown with children, with husbands, with families, with issues, I think that they have kept it together very, very well. I don't have anything negative to say about it. So let's move on. So they're talking to the castmates about how COVID has affected them, and like it has many Americans, the seclusion, the illness itself, the stress of the illness, just different things that comes along with COVID. I mean, everybody, even myself, we have suffered. Here in Memphis, we've been on lockdown. They released the lockdown. We moved up. We went back in. We went to phase 2. We never got to phase 3, and so now it looks like we may be going back to phase 1. So I understand. I totally get it, and I totally understand how it has affected people. So moving on, the show opens up with Cynthia and Marlo and Candy meeting up, just having some kiki time. They're outside. I think they're outside Lake Bailey. I can't really tell. But of course, Marlo comes with her shenanigans, which is funny. She has a little scan gun and stuff like that. And I get what they're doing. They're trying to make light of the situation, but I don't really know if I appreciate them playing around with COVID as if it's a joke, you know, stand back, give me 6 feet, this, that. Because it's very important, because a lot of people don't take it serious. So you may want to consider, like with Marlo joking, Kiki, and Ha Ha, you may consider the people that don't even take it seriously. And then if they look at Bravo and go, oh, y'all got people on there playing ha 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 ha, and not taking it serious, then, you know, people's minds, they're like, well, why should we take it serious if the celebrities are not taking it serious? So I just thought that was kind of like, I don't know if the producers put her up to doing it, or if it's something she just decided to do to make light of the situation, but I don't know if I like that. So they're trying to see what's going on with Kenya. They call Kenya. Well, Cynthia calls Kenya, and Kenya is in her Kenya mood. You know, she deals with you when she wants to deal with you. When she's having issues, it's all about her. When you're having issues, it's all about her. It's just, you know, and they're asking her how you're doing, telling her who's here, who's there, and just trying to communicate with her. And then all of a sudden, she has a bad connection. So they lose the phone call. Her and Cynthia's phone call disconnect, but I really feel like she just hung up on Cynthia, you know. So, you know. But Kenya, you know, she's in her confessional talking about the 30 pounds of weight gain, that she's been depressed. She's going through this and through that with Mark. And I'm going to tell you like this. If the only thing Kenya has to bring to the plate is her and this Mark issue, I'm over it. And I think everybody else that watches Real Housewives of Atlanta are totally over it. It's just, it's old. It was old back then, and it's gotten old, and it's just old. You talking about you and your husband, this, that, don't nobody. Kenya, we know it. Let me be quiet. Let me move on. We'll talk about that later on in the year. But if this is Kenya's whole storyline, her and Mark and this, that, and the other, and I feel like she talking about a divorce, but I really feel like she showed pictures on social media with her and Mark in the bed around some holidays. Anyway, we'll get on Kenya. So then they talk about Portia and her activism, and they show Portia jet setting off, doing this, doing. I'm not gonna say jet set, but she did go, and she went to a lot of events that were held in protest of Breonna Taylor. And so they really followed her where she is right now in the journey with her activism. And she talked about riding hard for the cause. And I appreciate the fact that Portia has grown. And I'm gonna tell you why. I appreciate the fact that from the Underground Railroad, of course, that's gonna always be her worst moment on television. But she, look at me, girl. I got tags. Let me tuck that real quick. But anyway, she has really taken the time to educate herself, and that says a lot because a lot of people feel the pressure of their forefather or their ancestors, or like her grandfather who was in the movement, the civil rights movement, and then you come on national TV and you make a big gift of the Underground Railroad, which really wasn't a good look. But we got to understand, Portia was young back then. Portia was young, pampered, spoiled, a little rich girl, and she didn't have to know that. It was just a part of who. Like, I don't know everything about what my people do. Granted, I did go to school. We did do history lessons, this, that, and other. But you don't know how Portia was brought up. Private school, perhaps. They probably didn't talk about that. And we can't keep blaming her and keep kikiing about that. But she talks differently. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Portia's verbiage has changed tremendously. And you can tell that she's researched some things. She's talked about some things. She's looked up her grandfather. She knows what the civil rights movement is about. She's done her homework. She's done her due diligence before she jumps out in front of these cameras and is like, oh, I'm doing it for the cause. And then like, what's the cause? What the cause is? She knows what she's talking about. And if you've been following her, the interviews that she does, the people that she talked to, how she expresses herself to the public, to the media. Yeah, Portia, you get an A+ for that. So we're going to follow her on this journey, which we have been doing live time. So it'll be interesting to see how much Bravo puts exposure to the Black Lives Movement. So then we shoot over to Candy and Riley, and they're talking about her dad and Block. And so Riley is like 18, 19. So Riley is grown. She's a grown child. And let me say this. She's an adult now. And she was a beautiful girl. I don't know why she felt the need to change her look. Maybe it reminded her of her dad and the missed relationship or something. But I just hate that she went so soon, so quick to change her identity and the look of her face and who she is. And I just don't feel like she got a good job done with the type of money her mom has. I just feel like it does not fit her face, who she is, her personality. And then I know she was on a weight loss journey, and then to see her have gained so much weight, but of course it's COVID, so it's happening to everybody. I just hate that she felt the need so early in life to change her outward appearance before working on her inward, because you can tell she still has issues with her dad. And being a grown child gives you one thing, if nothing else, the opportunity to pick up their phone and tell that parent how you truly feel as an adult. Now, whether they want to hear it, receive it, take it, move forward on it, do better, don't do better, it's up to them. But she's at a point in her life where I feel like instead of talking to her mom about it, that she just needs to pick up the phone and have a real conversation with her dad. Because I've learned, being a single mother, being in a blended family, now been married 21 years, that you don't down the children to the parents, but when the children become of age and they're able to talk, because my son all the time talks to me about, Mom, you're not hearing me, you're talking at me and you're not talking to me. And I had to sit back and say, well, yeah, okay, what are you trying to say? And she's at that point now where she can pick up the phone or have a face-to-face and talk to him and just really tell him how him not being there affected him. And a lot of times she may find out that it really may not have been him. It could have been Mama Joyce, could have been Candy. I'm just saying, things happen and children grow up thinking one thing about life, and then when they get older and adults and are able to explore things, they see, okay, well, Mom, why didn't you? I didn't know that part. I didn't, so I just really wish Riley would have worked on her inside before she did her outside. And I really feel like her and her dad needs to take a long sit down, a vacation, not just an, hour here, 2 minutes there, but they really need to have a real life talk. So they're talking about Riley going off to college, and Candy's like, and it just goes to show, like I was saying with Portia, Riley is spoiled. And she thinks, oh, I'm going off to NYC. Oh, it's not a problem. It's not. It's just like you're paying for my high school. You went to a private school. Your mom probably paid $30,000 a year for that or something like that. You're going off to college, sis. That's gonna be quadruple the amount. Plus housing. Plus you're going to New York, which is very expensive. And she just has no real sense of reality. And I hate that some children can grow up like how Candy raised her and go out for life and be good. Some children may not necessarily be able to do that. And I don't know if Riley is one of those children that can go off and actually live the life of an adult. Y'all have to excuse the noise if y'all hear it, but my neighbors are cutting their grass this morning, but we're going to continue on. So, really, you just move past that. They go to Portia in her march, for in Kentucky and the activism that she's doing. They're doing to Breonna Taylor. So then they shoot over to Kenya's house. In Kenya, Cynthia and Candy meet up, and Kenya's getting some work done. She said that she's getting a pool in. Mark never really wanted a pool, so she never got one. So now that Mark's not in the picture, she's getting one, which I don't even understand that concept, because you had the house before Mark, and if it was something you wanted to do, whether he wanted a pool or not, why did it matter if you wanted a pool? It's a pool. It brings value. You have a child. It's just part of extracurricular outdoor activity. Kenya just really irks my nerve, but she's talking about it's funny because Kenya, Candy, and Cynthia are talking about rich women problems. Since COVID-19, we've been having to keep the house, clean the house. The nanny doesn't come over. We're traveling. People ain't got jobs. And y'all talking about that your housekeeper couldn't come over and bust some suds in your sink and clean your kitchen. Or your nanny, Kenya, can come over and help you with Brooklyn during COVID. But you got people out here that haven't worked in over 6 months. That's why I say they're talking about rich white women problems. Like, you have a whole community. Cynthia talks about how she was in LA and stuck there when COVID hit. You with your man. Your daughter is grown. She's living with you. Everywhere you go, she go. You go, she go. Y'all talking about stuff. I mean, I wish they would have a sense of reality on these reality TV shows when they talk about stuff, because that's insulting to a person that has not worked in over 7 months. And then they've stopped unemployment. And then we have to sit up and watch y'all on TV talk about my nanny couldn't come and help me with my child. And you got one child. And these people are trying to figure out how their children are going to get their education that they need. Because I'm a single mother. I have 3 kids and I have to work. So I can't be here to help with the in-home schooling. Just a whole plethora of issues that people on a regular day-to-day life have to deal with. And y'all are on here complaining about a housekeeper. Anywho. So Kenya is talking about her and Mark has been separated for 10 years. Married for 3, separated for 10 months. And Candy and Cynthia are like, look, girl, just let it go. They in the confessionals like, let it go, let it go. Like Frozen, let it go. Really, Candy was like, girl, I'm so over this. Cynthia's like, why are you still here? Who cares? Let it go. He don't want you. So, girl, he don't want you. And then the producers are shady, like, well, how much time and how does he spend time with his other children? That's a loaded question. They kill me not making them answer these questions. Because, no, how is he? Because know now that the blogs say Mark has a whole nother family in New York. He has other children that he takes care of, that he has a family, has a wife with a girlfriend with a wife on the side. I don't know. But he has a whole nother family. So Kenya, let it go. We don't care. So then we're talking about Cynthia and Mike. They show them talking about the wedding and this, we all know that the wedding happened. 250 people amidst a high COVID outbreak. And, just to fast forward through that, Mike is just making a really good point. You're so worried about the people being there. And she's like, well, my first wedding was horrible. We all understood how that went to Peter and how her mom and sister tried to hide the marriage license. Like, should we give it to him? And just craziness. But like Mike is saying, is it the wedding or is it me? And Cynthia really had a hard time expressing herself. And it goes back to something that there was an interview that Peter did, and Peter was like, Cynthia's the type of woman that'll be like, well, this wedding wasn't better as best, this part of the wedding was better than this part of the wedding. I wonder if I look better in this dress at this wedding than I am going to look at this dress at this wedding. I wonder how people. She seems like that type, very superficial. And that's what she's coming off with this way. I want what I want. And then he's like, we can get married on 10, 10, 20. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is, if it's just you and I, it does not matter. We can have the big wedding later. And she's like, no, I want my big wedding. And, she's just like a whiny brat. And I'm like, during COVID, and she got drugged for this. During COVID, you around here and having a wedding, and people can't even hardly afford to eat. And you're like, I want my wedding. I want my wedding. Reality. Our reality is not their reality. And that's the issue. And that's what makes this whole scene in this wedding that they're going to push the narrative on this show, Bravo is saying. But come to find out, Bravo didn't even film the wedding. So Cynthia got her big day, but she didn't even get her big TV moment. So they kind of did you like they did Eva. Eva got married, they made it about Nene. You get married, they made it about what it needed to be about, COVID. No, we're not going to jeopardize our health, our lives, our people, our production staff. No, for you to have a TV moment. That was just so selfish, but their reality is not our reality. So, but Mike had to really be like, so you really gonna push this narrative that if you can't do this 250 people, you don't want to have this wedding. And she was dumbfounded. She was speechless. And that just goes to show you right there where she stood as a human being. People are suffering, dying of something that's real and it's in our face. I don't care about that. I don't care about people dying. They're going to come to this 250 people wedding and we're going to do what we do. They don't like it. They ain't got to come. But if they come, they're going to sign this disclaimer saying that if they catch COVID and die, their family can't sue me. That was just so selfish. Selfish. And I really didn't appreciate it, Cynthia. But, I wasn't there. I wasn't invited. And I had an opportunity, and I'm going to talk about that, to do some of the decor at Cynthia Bailey's wedding. And thank God that I chose not to do it. It was for other reasons, but I'm just glad we chose to turn it down. And we'll talk about that on another video. So they show Candy and talking about her opening up another restaurant, Blaze. And I've heard really good reviews about Blaze. And they talk about Portia being arrested and this, that, and the other. Portia doing real jail time. How is that going to affect her? Which is a real reality. They don't care that Portia is a reality star, and who she is. They probably know more about her now than when she was first arrested. But it just goes to show that this stuff is real. And she's out here advocating for people. And I'm appreciative of it because I'm not on the front line. But she is. And I don't think that she's using it for a storyline. I really feel like this is something that she wants to do. She enjoys doing. And she's moved to do. And that she feels like it's part of her destiny. And that's okay to tap into who you are. Like I said, when we first met Portia, she was young, married, living the Stepford wife lifestyle. Very spoiled, very bougie. And then now she's that down home girl, and she knows that she has a purpose. And when you find out that what your sense of purpose is in life, it does something to you. It changes you. It makes you feel more valued and of value in this world. And I'm just glad for her. So that's a good thing. But all in all, it was I felt almost like this episode should be like towards the middle to the last, because it shows like Candy and them opened up the restaurant. So that should be like the finale. Portia protest. I felt like they should have had it something leading up to how she was moved to start protesting, and then show at the end her protest and her getting arrested. The ending credits for the season. Let's go back to Kenya. I forgot she talked to this attorney, and attorney was telling her about, mark this, mark that, what did they really want. But I don't know if he knew he was still mic'd or whatever, the cameras had left out the room, but he kind of really told Kenya some real stuff about letting a man do you like this. He sees it all the time, these celebrity women just take whatever from these men. And you could tell she wasn't receptive to that. Kenya can dish it, but she can't take it. Kenya does not like when Cynthia and them was telling her, "Why are you still holding on to?" She got an attitude. She didn't like that. Hence the reason why she's dogging Cynthia in the blogs, talking about she didn't really want to go to her wedding, just all type of stupid stuff. I'm like, if you didn't want to go, why did you go? If you didn't want to be a part of the wedding, why would you do it? And so when he was telling her, she was and you could tell it irked her because she knows she's not going to divorce Mark anytime soon. It's a storyline, but deep down inside, Kenya, she likes being treated like that. Kenya's personality of being so dominant and controlling when it comes to like the group of women, you can tell that it's kind of like when you have that boss on a job that has no control at home. You can tell when the home life is messed up because they come to work and make your life a living hell. That's Kenya. Kenya likes being able to come to work and dog these women out and be the mean girl and do this and do that and then go home and be dogged out herself. She has no control at home, and she's fine with that as long as she has that husband, that child, that family structure, a home. She has that's her white picket fence. Whether we want to accept that or not, that's Kenya's white picket fence. And so she's fine with this. So no matter what this man does, he's going to literally have to just destroy her, divorce her, and move on because Kenya's never going to do it. And she's going to fight it. I guarantee, I mark my words. Kenya's going to fight it. But that's all I have. It's just really dead to me. The episode, I really felt like it should have been a latter part of the storylines as opposed to right now up in our face, because where do you go towards 3 to 4 episodes when Portia is no longer protest? I mean, that should have been like to the end, I think. It just didn't flow well for me. So we'll see where it goes. Drew Sidora is supposed to join the cast. I don't know. It's just missing some. And I ain't gonna say it's Nene, but it's a personality that's missing. Like with the Kenya thing, you got Candy and Cynthia, like with the kiss ass thing that they generally do when it comes to Kenya, putting her on a pedestal. Girl, it's gonna be okay. I don't know. It's maybe Drew would bring that in, the laughter, the humor, the giggle, Marlo plays off. We didn't see Tanya, so and there's a big hiccup with that later on after the bachelorette party. So I really don't know. Guys, tell me what you think down in the comments. Like and subscribe. You could catch me on Instagram at the one and only Creative Concepts, or Facebook Creative Concepts, or my website www.creativeconcepts, both with a K -events.com. And I'll be seeing you guys later. Talk to you later. Y'all have a good day. Don't forget, mask up. Follow the guidelines that are regulated and set by your individual state and county. Let's do our part. Let's stay diligent in this fight against COVID. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.